The sheer greed of Uber has reached a new depth, sparking some rideshare drivers to consider taking action against the ride-sharing company. What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another ride-sharing video. Now, some of you may have heard about this story, but this just shows how greedy Uber is. And this is not necessarily Lyft, because it sounds like this is Uber alone doing something that is very, very greedy in one metropolitan area. Now, this is Las Vegas. This comes from an article titled, "Las Vegas Rideshare Drivers Plan to Take Action After Questioning Pay During Busy Weekend." Now, I make no secret about it. I've said in many of my videos, I do not drive unless they're offering some type of earnings incentive to get on the road, because I humbly believe the base fare in my market is just not profitable. Not only is it not worth it, it's not profitable. If you drive at base fare, I truly believe you can actually lose money. So I don't drive unless there's a street, earnings guarantee, some type of surge pricing or something of that nature to get me on the road. I don't drive at base fare. Here, this story is a perfect example. In the city of Las Vegas, Sin City, Beyonce, Queen Bee had a concert. Drivers were looking at this as the week to cash in. Beyonce's venues are going to be sold out. People are going to need rides to and fro. This is a prime time for surge pricing. Nevertheless, due to the greed of Uber, none of that should happen. Plenty of passengers, plenty of folks needing rides. No surge at all. I want you to hear a quote from a rideshare driver from the actual article to show how horrible this shit is. Not a surge anywhere. So what somebody could have expected to be a $50 or $60 hour quickly became a $15 hour. I know it did for me, shared Dudar. That was also problematic for drivers with a lack of, or better yet, riders with a lack of drivers willing to take the low fare. So some of these drivers were like yours truly. They're not going to drive for this low ass shit. But Dudar in this particular story is stating that he was expecting to potentially make 50 or 60 bucks an hour. Turned out he was only earning 15. Now, this is exactly why I do not suggest anybody drive for base fare. He's expecting 50 or 60 bucks an hour, but he's taking these base fare trips all damn night. What the hell did you expect? You see all of these passengers. You're constantly busy. None of this shit is at surge. What the hell do you think you're going to earn at the end of the night? You see that you're making $3 to $7 every damn trip you do. You realize the money is not adding up. This is a prime example why I am so strongly against doing base fare trips. They tricked drivers to help them empty out a whole damn Beyonce concert and didn't pay them shit to do it. Now the drivers are suggesting they're going to take action because doing their homework, they found out that the passengers were being charged extra money and Uber was keeping all of it. Can you imagine how much Uber made off of drivers like Dudar in this damn article, making 15 bucks an hour when they were charging every damn passenger he picked up far more than 15 bucks. You can rest assured after leaving a Beyonce concert, ain't no damn body leaving that concert paying a $15 bucks for a trip. Every one of his trips, the passenger paid more than 15 bucks. And here he is doing an hour's worth of this shit, barely making 15 bucks. So he probably was getting somewhere around 20% or less of the fares that these passengers were being involved in. Now, as I stated, some of the drivers have suggested that they've been able to show riders were paying inflated fees and they were still doing it at base fare. Now, the solution is simple as hell. As I stated, do not take base fare trips. Eventually, Uber will throw the drivers a bone. Now, every bone is going to be shaven completely of all the freaking meat on it, but there is some nutrition to the bone itself. So instead of you doing trips for 80 cents a mile. Maybe they decide to bump it up and start giving you $1.20, $1.30 because the app is loaded with people trying to get out of the damn concert. Never take base fare trips when you know damn well they should be paying more. You're driving by a club or bar or a ball game somewhere and people are lined up to get in your car. Don't take any of those damn trips for base fare. And you know what else is very valuable during this time? This is when you should be networking. This is when you pull over, get out of your damn car, walk up to that line, and offer somebody a ride for a price. And let them pay you in cash. You're going to certainly make a hell of a lot more than you will with Uber. If there is surge pricing and passengers are being charged $4 or $5 per mile by the ride-sharing companies, you step up and tell them, I'll take you 2 miles for $10, they're going to happily jump in your car. So this is absolutely the time when you need to network. Take that Uber and Lyft sign off your car, put a hire for, car for hire or some shit in your window. Now, obviously, in certain markets, you can't do this. So I understand some of the larger markets in America have a lot of strict requirements on what you can do as a rideshare driver, but other markets do not. So this is something that will be market specific to you. However, if you know if you're fairly certain that Uber or Lyft, and Lyft didn't do it in this case, and apparently Lyft was paying surge during the same exodus from the concert, which will lead to the obvious question: why the hell would anybody do an Uber trip if Lyft is where the money is? You should always have both apps, unless you've been deactivated or some shit. You should always have both apps and be checking what's going on. So if you could drive for both Uber and Lyft, that's the night you turn Uber off. If you see Lyft is offering a surge and Uber ain't offering shit, and you're standing in front of the same venue, why the hell are you driving for Uber that night? Some markets, it is beneficial to drive for Lyft. Some markets, it's beneficial to drive for Uber. But if one is offering a surge and the other one is, then you know clearly who the hell you should be driving for that night. But I just wanted to run this by you because it appears as if Uber got so damn greedy after this Beyonce concert that it triggered even drivers that may not look to take action to step up and say, we need to do something about this shit. You got a concert as big as Beyonce, where these folks are getting in his car, according to the article, where they're saying he had to wait an hour or two for a trip, and there is no surge at all. You know, if Uber passengers are standing in front of one particular structure and they're waiting an hour to get a trip, they're paying more for those damn trips. I don't give a fuck what you're making. They are paying more for that trip. So the idea that you're picking up people like that and nobody's giving you a surge, don't do those damn trips. Just avoid that. Take your ass home for the night. That is $15 per hour that Dudar, or whatever the hell his name is, should not have earned. That's when you go home. I understand a hell of a lot of folks in regards to rideshare, that is their only source of income. And this is why this kind of shit keeps happening, because the rideshare companies realize the desperation of some drivers, knowing they don't have no other way to make money. So they're going to try their best to pay you as little as possible. Also, with him suggesting that he normally would have expected 50 or 60 bucks an hour and he only earned 15, that once again plays along to the statement I always tell you. It is almost impossible to predict or plan your earnings with Uber or Lyft. Even on a busy ass night like that, he's making 15 bucks an hour when he should be making 50 or 60 bucks an hour. Falls along with the statement I made. No matter how much you make today, Uber and Lyft is trying to find a way to get you to do the same shit tomorrow for less. That man is used to taking folks home from big venues and making 50 to 60 bucks an hour, and he just did it for 15. That is a huge benefit to Uber that night. They made a fucking fortune. I don't know if the litigation or they're threatening to do at Uber, most likely it won't go nowhere. Uber's kicking our ass all over the damn place. You've seen what happened in the state of Minnesota and now the city of Minneapolis. So they're kicking our asses. At the end of the day, it is up to you, the driver, to realize they're not paying you shit, so stop doing shit for these companies. Now, before I run in the video, I just want to say this, because I like driving just like the rest of you folks do. I enjoy the ride sharing aspect, meeting folks, being able to enjoy the flexibility and things like that. But if they're not paying you, you can't do it. Being candid, I haven't driven in a few weeks now, which is why some of my content is slowed up. There's just no fucking money in this. I'm not going to drive at base fare. I don't want to be like Dudar making videos sounding like he did in that damn article. I refuse to be like that. And they haven't offered anything in my market for several weeks. I check just about every day, certainly on the weekend, see if they're offering some. I think a couple weekends ago they offered a streak bonus of do 3 rides and they'll give you an additional $9. That ain't gonna get me going. Minimum 15. Minimum. You see what gas prices are and all of this shit. Minimum 15. I think they had a earnings guarantee. Do 20 rides, they'll give you an additional $20 or so. Hell no. An extra $1 per ride. Minimum. Minimum, I need to make $5 or $10 extra per ride, because the rides pay so damn low. Most of the trips in my market are paying you $3.50 to about $6 or $7, when they should be paying probably $6 or $7 to about $15 to $20. So minimum, I need about at least $5 more per trip to even make it worth my while. But I understand some of you guys got vehicles that may be very fuel efficient. And like I stated, some of you drive because you have no other way to earn an income. So you do you, but don't be like Dudar here. What do you think? You think there's any chance at all proving Uber was ripping off drivers will result in any type of return for the drivers? Even if they decide to put litigation against Uber, you think they will win any damn thing? Because at the end of the day, they knew the trip was at base fare. They knew they were. This guy knows if you're taking base fare trips all damn night, you're not going to make $50 to $60 an hour. You keep taking these damn trips, you know you're not adding up to $50 or $60 an hour. You done your second or third trip, and you're now just entering the double digits. You've done 3 trips and now you got 11 or 12 bucks. You know you're not going to make $50 an hour at that rate. Stop doing the fucking trips. It's your boy Tim. Subscribe to the damn channel. Click the like button. See you in the next video.